In the late 90s, millions of Americans believed they were just one French fry away from becoming millionaires. But what if I told you, every single top prize in McDonald's Monopoly game, for 6 years straight, was stolen? From 1995 to 2001, not a single legitimate winner claimed a jackpot. Not one. Behind every smiling photo, every teary-eyed, lucky story on TV, was a lie. The man trusted to protect the game had hijacked it. And instead of chance, it was all part of a carefully built criminal network that stretched from Florida to the mafia. This wasn't just a marketing stunt gone wrong, it was the biggest fast food fraud in US history. And no one at McDonald's saw it coming. Or did they? Hit like, subscribe and let's go. Before the scandal, Jerome Jacobson lived a life no one would look twice at. He was quiet. Methodical. A former cop turned security officer, working for Simon Marketing, the firm responsible for printing McDonald's Monopoly game pieces. He lived in Lawrenceville, Georgia, a modest suburb, where mornings meant black coffee, the paper, and a short drive to work. No one suspected a thing. At the office, he wore a badge and carried sealed envelopes, each containing potential life-changing game pieces. He had routines. A slow, steady rhythm. Church on Sundays. Golf when he could. He talked little about his job, but everyone knew it was important. And it was. He alone was responsible for making sure no winning piece ever fell into the wrong hands. But then, something shifted. A moment. A decision. Small, barely noticeable, like the first loose thread on a perfect suit. No one knew it yet, but the unraveling had begun. It started in 1995, on a routine business trip to the printing facility in South Carolina. Jerome carried the usual package, tamper-proof envelopes with winning game pieces, ready for distribution under tight supervision. But that day, something strange happened. One envelope slipped loose. It was a $1 million piece, just lying there, unguarded, outside the chain of custody. For a split second, Jerome froze. No one noticed. No cameras. No questions. His heart pounded. He picked it up, and kept it. Later, back at the hotel, he stared at it under dim light, just cardboard and ink, but worth more than everything he owned. He didn't cash it in. Not yet. But something had changed. The system that was supposed to be airtight, had a crack. And Jerome had found it. He told himself it was a one-time thing. A fluke. But deep down, he already knew, this was just the beginning. Weeks passed. Then months. And Jerome couldn't stop thinking about that envelope. That rush. That silence. So he tried again, but smarter. He handed a winning piece to his stepbrother's friend. Told him exactly what to say, how to act. A few weeks later, the prize was claimed. No questions asked. Easy. Too easy. By 1996, it wasn't a one-time act, it was a pattern. Jerome started keeping a private list, folded deep in his wallet, names, dates, amounts. He burned phone numbers after every call. He bought a new safe. And still, the prizes kept disappearing into the hands of people who'd never played fair. A waitress in South Carolina. A used car dealer in Jacksonville. All strangers, all pretending to be lucky. Jerome barely slept. He checked his rearview mirror twice. He whispered instead of speaking. Because every envelope he moved, every piece he passed, was another step into darkness. And the scariest part? No one had noticed. Yet. It was early 2000 when the illusion began to crack, not for Jerome, but for the outside world. An anonymous woman called the FBI. Her ex, she claimed, had won a McDonald's jackpot, but never played the game. Agents took notes, skeptical, until they noticed the name, a recent winner tied to other suspicious names across several states. The prizes were large. The winners, oddly private. Most avoided the spotlight. Some even refused interviews. One agent, Doug Matthews, took a deeper look. What he found stunned him. 3 winners shared a Florida address. 2 others had the same last name. None had any prior connection to McDonald's, but all had links to one man, Jerome Jacobson. That name wasn't public. It shouldn't have been known. Doug's instincts kicked in, something massive was hiding beneath the surface. He leaned back, heart racing, and said aloud what no one else dared, this entire game might be fake. Agent Matthews couldn't sleep. The deeper he dug, the more rotten it became. Dozens of winners, all connected through a spiderweb of distant ties, cash payments, and whispered deals. And at the center, Jerome Jacobson. A man no one outside the industry even knew existed. By spring of 2000, the FBI had uncovered a silent crime spree stretching over 5 years and across 15 states. $24 million. All stolen, piece by piece, prize by prize. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't luck. It was organized fraud, systematic, controlled, deliberate. Doug sat in a dim office, stacks of case files around him, audio tapes whirring softly in the dark. This wasn't just a scam. This was a betrayal of the public's trust. Millions of Americans, kids, parents, veterans, had played with hope in their hearts. And it was all fake. Doug felt the weight. The urgency. The responsibility. He had to stop this. By mid-2001, the FBI had enough to act, but the stakes were enormous. If they moved too soon, Jerome might vanish. If they waited too long, more prizes would disappear. Agent Matthews faced a choice: watch from a distance, or step into the scam himself. The Bureau launched Operation Final Answer, a full-scale undercover sting. Doug and his team posed as fake prize officials, recording every conversation, tracking every exchange. The tension was razor-sharp. Then came the final move. Jerome handed off yet another winning piece, this time to a man tied to organized crime. That was it. The FBI now had proof that the scam wasn't just internal, it had spread into criminal networks, into families. And if even one suspect got wind of the investigation, the whole case could crumble. Doug felt it in his bones: one wrong step, and everything they'd built could go up in smoke. Just weeks before the takedown, everything nearly collapsed. One of Jerome's recruits, a fake winner, got spooked and disappeared, taking $1 million piece with him. Rumors started swirling. Jerome grew paranoid. He changed phones, skipped meetings, delayed handoffs. The FBI watched helplessly as their perfect sting teetered on the edge. If Jerome went underground now, the entire case, years of surveillance, thousands of hours, would be lost. Inside the Bureau, tensions boiled. Doug felt the pressure like a vice around his chest. Had they pushed too far? Was the whole operation unraveling like the very scam they hunted? Then, a breakthrough. One of Jerome's insiders called, desperate, asking when the next prize would be ready. He didn't know he was speaking to an undercover agent. That call, recorded, traced, confirmed, gave the FBI exactly what they needed. It wasn't over. Not yet. The final move was coming, and it would shake America. On August 22, 2001, before sunrise, federal agents swept across the country. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, door after door kicked in. Jerome Jacobson was arrested at home, stunned, silent, cornered by the very system he thought he'd outsmarted. 24 others were taken in, including family members, mob-linked middlemen, and winners who'd lied their way onto national television. Doug Matthews stood in the center of the storm, exhausted but steady. It was over. The illusion had shattered. At a press conference, the FBI revealed everything, how the biggest fast food giveaway in American history had been rigged from the inside. The public gasped. McDonald's was humiliated. But the truth had finally come out. And in that moment, Doug felt something deep, not just triumph, but justice. Ordinary people had been cheated. Now, they would know the truth. And the man who stole their dreams? He would answer for it. The fallout from the McDonald's monopoly scam echoed far beyond courtrooms and headlines. Jerome Jacobson was sentenced to 37 months in prison, but the damage ran deeper. Trust, once taken for granted, was shattered. McDonald's revamped its promotions, adding layers of security and transparency, but the shadow of betrayal lingered. For millions who played, the game was no longer just about fun, it was a reminder that even the most familiar things can hide secrets. What would you have done if you were in Jerome's shoes? Could temptation break your own moral code? Or is everyone vulnerable when the stakes are high? The Monopoly scam is more than a story about fraud, it's a mirror reflecting human nature itself. If this story moved you, hit subscribe, share your thoughts below, and let's keep uncovering the truths hiding in plain sight.